Hi, everybody, and welcome to the second installment of True Teacher Talk. My name is Michelle Whiteley, and I am an Education Account Manager supporting schools and school districts here at Texthelp. In my prior life, I was an elementary school teacher for over a decade. So I'm here today to have real talk with all of you teachers about a pain point we all have experienced and to show you how Texthelp solutions not only increase student achievement, but also alleviate teacher stress. So today's pain point is budget. As we all know, budget is an extremely sore spot for those in education. In this video, Budget Part 1, we will focus on why this is the case. So really, it boils down to money being extremely stressful for teachers, and there are a variety of reasons why this is the case. Our first reason is funding constraints. So teachers are granted a certain amount of funds from their school district to order the bare necessities of life for the upcoming school year. Just to contextualize how absolutely bonkers budgeting for school materials can be, I wanted to share with you one of my all-time favorite teaching resources, Post-it chart paper. Like, what a genius invention, right? Chart paper with that patented Post-it sticky stuff built right in on the back to hang it up. No need to look for push pins or tape or get yelled at by the janitor for inevitably ripping paint off the walls when you pull posters down. This chart paper was too good for real. And boy, did the astronomical price reflect that. This is a screenshot from the website we did our district-wide ordering from. So this paper that I might use to make an anchor chart or to provide a collaborative workspace for groups, the kids loved it. At the end of the day, 40 sheets of this magnificent paper would cost a staggering $55. That is straight up insanity. And anybody taking the time to listen to this also knows that being a teacher is basically synonymous with being a supply hoarder and frugal fanny. So all I could ask for was 2 pads of paper per year, and I had to strategically decide when and where my learners and I would get the best usage out of them. Your best bet at securing additional funding is to apply for different educational grants, which is very time-consuming in itself and not a guarantee. And anybody in education knows that time is money. And not to mention, there were never enough resources on reserve. We all know that when something runs out or the pencil sharpener breaks, that's basically it. You are charged, quite literally, with figuring out next steps. The next stressor is student need. We know as teachers that we provide supplies for students out of pocket. Many students can't afford our never-ending supply list that we provide to them, since we are also at a deficit in terms of supplies. And we also know too well that oftentimes supplies are not replaced by home if they run out. So if we want our students to be able to fully participate in their learning, we have to fit the bill. Next up is salary. Let's face it, none of us got into education to live a glamorous lifestyle. It's quite the contrary, really. In many parts of the country, teachers are not paid well enough to even be able to afford to pay their bills, never mind providing supplemental supplies at work. I know personally, I would spend hundreds of dollars each year just to decorate and ensure my classroom provided necessary accommodations for my students. You know, it seemed like each educational initiative that was introduced, an SEL calm down corner, a growth mindset bulletin board, you know, you had to buy something. And the luxury of purchasing colored printer ink for myself, so my classroom is bright and colorful and warm as it should be. I mean, that was very costly to keep up with. So my salary certainly could not compete with all of the demands of things that I had to buy. Next up is our wasteful usage of materials. I shouldn't say our wasteful usage. I should say students' wasteful usage. So I don't know if you guys can relate, But my students were like somewhat snobbish when it came to their school supplies. So if a pencil didn't have an eraser anymore, it would quickly be abandoned. Like it could be 3/4 of a perfectly good pencil left, but the missing eraser was a complete deal breaker for my students. And if I wanted to save that pencil's life, I would have to supplement a pencil topper eraser, which is just another supply to provide. I ended up, it was like wishful thinking, keeping a bin for extra discarded supplies. It just became a graveyard of partially dried out markers and pens with chewed up caps. It was like the land of misfit toys, but misfit school supplies. And I would end up dumping out the bin at the end of every school year, literally throwing money away. Next up is the pandemic's effect on resource sharing. I feel like shared resources are more so becoming a thing of the past in this icky pandemic world. You know, kids are straight up germaphobes now, and not gonna lie, I am too. But learning manipulatives are key in developing mini concepts. So the need to buy even more has increased tenfold in this day and age. And let's not even talk about all the money that went into additional disinfecting and cleaning materials. I should have bought stock in Lysol wipes, literally. I might actually be rich. End rant. Boy, it all sounds so much worse once you actually say it all at once. But I am happy to report that the funding tides have changed in recent years. And I'm here to enlighten all of you educators about what's been going on behind the budgeting scenes and show you how your access to exciting assistive technology resources that cancel out the need for those expensive finite resources has been increased tenfold. Drum roll, please. Dun, 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 dun. I introduce you to ESSER funds. So this video may not age well, but as of March 20th, 2022, districts are swimming in ESSER funds right now. And do not let anybody tell you otherwise. You may be asking yourself, what even is an ESSER? Well, ESSER stands for Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief, also known as stimulus funding. And at its most basic core, it is economic relief for school districts to address the absolute havoc that COVID has wreaked on our educational system. The federal government has already committed more than $200 billion to K-12 education, which is a significant increase over the approximately $750 billion spent annually on public schooling. So it's time to nestle ESSER into your acronym word bank. It'll be right at home with IEP and UDL and SEL and DEI and ELL, and it sure will make a good friend to all of them. The late great rapper Biggie Smalls once proclaimed, "Mo money, mo problems." But for us in the educational realm, it is quite the opposite. The more money we come across, the more progress we will see. So in the next video, part 2 budget, we will take a deeper dive into exactly what ESSER funds entail and how you can ensure your district is getting the most bang for its buck with quality resources. I highly recommend tuning in. Wait, what am I saying? I'm telling educators that there's finally free money to be had. So you know what? I know I'll see you over on part 2. Toodles for now, and thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.